middle of nowhere, charging. I guess the electricity bill was super free back then. This is in 1900s, in the first decade. You just charge your car, that's it, you don't care. Now they come with all this Tesla stuff, and you see how nothing is new under the sun. Electrically carriages. This is in 1898, imagine, 2 years before 1900. This is in New York. Electric cars in series, so it was supreme. Imagine these cars. Just take the horse, and you have this. And then they tell us after the Second World War that we have to use gas and petrol and oil because we don't have electrics. Of course, you have electric cars. You have also electric canoes and launches for the water. Nothing new under the sun as well. Look at this, Jedi, like in Star Wars. Electric sword, electromagnetic fights. The knights, they didn't use their swords just with battling like in Game of Thrones. They actually had power and electromagnetism and energy. So that's where the Jedis in Star Wars come. Look at this. Everything is fighting with Jedi swords. So now you know where Star Wars got it from. Nothing new under the sun. And the energy we speak about is electromagnetism, which is infinite. And probably these are the swords that the gods, we call them the gods, had as well. Free electricity harnessing, 19th century. You see no wires, nowhere. Very big streets, not for horses, but probably for some other devices as well. So probably from the previous humanity. Cookers and heaters, but everything with electromagnetic wireless technology. Amazing stuff. These are some kind of portable devices, again, for the purpose of energy, I guess, because of this whole thing, how they look like, and the designs and everything, just like in the big buildings. Portable, again, energy devices. And look at this, energy street, no wires, so I guess everything was wireless as well. There's lots of Russian places like these, and also in Europe. This is like also street tops, atmosphere, ether, who knows, call it whatever you want. This is a cool stuff because it's like on the postcard. It's very old. It's the Crystal Palace, and again, I'm just wondering if this was there from the previous humanity, because it was so giant and then it suffered a mysterious fire, like all of them. And this is the mercury arc rectifier we've seen for the car. This one is used in a building. Mercury was very, very important for energy and free energy and everything else. So I guess there is a reason why they say about it. This is the mercury arc rectifier for the charging batteries of the cars. So you see, we could have infinite energy and electricity, but obviously we're not allowed because that's how things work. Zeppelins never gets old. This whole thing, massive stuff. So imagine humanity was traveling through air, maybe in the 1700s and before, with no problems. Old street lamps. So you tell me if they built these street lamps and they also built the infrastructure below them, or there's not any cables, and how do they work? Wireless, free energy. Hey, Nikola Tesla. But this is like before the times of Nikola Tesla. So awesome stuff. Or actually during the times. You tell me where the infrastructure with the cables is. Because unless they have the cables underneath, but no, and I don't see any fire. So awesome stuff if it's electromagnetic wireless. So I cannot speak about them because people don't like this. People don't like you when you tell them that we don't know our origins of the 1800s. But some movies and TV series, they go into this and they actually speak and tell you certain truths, but that's probably too much for the big majority of people. And it was a sad history we had as our human species developed in the 1800s, and they got moved over and over, and and then nobody speaks about the adults of these people. And I'm not gonna go because I'm just showing it to you because I'm trying to open your mind a bit, and then of course you can investigate on your own. But and again, this is in Queensland. This is in 1898. Look, no wires, so awesome. And look at those buildings, and then look at that tram, electricity. And then when the electric motors died, well, you use your horses because that's what humanity does. Queensland, Victoria, free energy bells or something like that. I mean, I call them free energy because they look so odd in the middle of nowhere there in the cities. And then who built these cities in Australia and New Zealand? So in Canada and all those countries that are so young with immigrants. And again, nothing new under the sun. Radar in all the drawings. So imagine even like in those days, there were radars, and so the technology existed all the time. And there you go, electric, Russian electric. These are in Russia. You see, Russia had lots of electric. Everything was electric. And then now they come, oh, you have to use electric because we could have used this for the past 150 years, but no. Okay, so these are stupas, but in small. So I guess if these are stupas in small size used for something to do with an energy, then the stupas and pagodas in Asia, which are big buildings, then they're probably used for energy as well. Look at the energy. St. Louis and San Francisco World Expo. So much light. You know, this is the power of humanity. And this is the forbidden technology because now we have to pay for it. So, but I wonder back in the days, how did they pay for it and what did they have the infrastructure? And then they said, oh, we have to, you know, we've just built this in like a couple of weeks. We have to demolish it because, oh yeah, right. So you demolish it because, you know, you don't want certain questions, but regarding the past of humanity. Gosh, I'm speaking too fast. This was in Sweden, I guess. Definitely looks mighty amazing. So it was like in the 1950s or something. Again, these infrastructures with metal and huge. And then we have like more fires, the Great Fire of Pittsburgh and Boston in the 19th century. Remember the comets? Remember the technology from the airships? Remember, like, is this like a normal fire to you? Does it look more like a bombing or like intentionally artificial destruction? And so many cities. Look at this. The ancients, and the same thing we see in the cities with the streets and everything. We see these structures for energy and electromagnetism and ether. So awesome. You see, in the old world, like in the ancient world, as we call it, and then in the old world, like Russia, or like what we see in the maps, and different places, and even in America, even in this is in Russia, by the way, this one. And Australia and all that stuff. So weather control, look at this, weather control on cigarettes. So weather control. Now you see how nothing new under the sun. And those I think are all the photos. So which one is your favorite? Let's just finish with this amazing stuff, the Mercury arc rectifier. Imagine what kind of humanity we would have. But then again, humanity did allow something odd with this, which I'm not going to speak about because, you know, people don't like that, do they? Oh yes, and this is very awesome as well. Now you just have to compare this with what happened during the Second World War in Europe, and you will understand. Oh, but that's too much. So see you next time.